this is a tier 9 American battleship. She's got 406 or 16-inch guns. Very, very comfortable guns. She's got good speed, decent maneuverability, decent armor, good anti-air.
A good
That's about
heal.
She's got improved heal, right? So let's go ahead and take a look at Rob's setup. Now, we always like to do the replay render bot when we look at replays so that we can look at Rob's build and make sure that he actually picked up the upgrades, which you did. Okay, so you have main armaments mod 1, engine room protection, artillery plotting, steering gears, concealment, and artillery. Why did you go steering gears, Rob?
I do find myself turning quite often.
All right, if you guys didn't hear that, Rob, you're kind of quiet. He said he likes to turn a lot. Okay, here's the thing. If you look at the maneuverability with steering gears, you're at 13.7. If without it, you're at 17.15. So okay, I can understand that. Personally, I try to go for under 15 seconds rudder shift time in a battleship. So okay, if you're the kind of person that's W 4 times and then never changes the throttle again, then steering gears is worthwhile. If you're the kind of person that stops and moves forward and stops and moves forward, propulsion is worthwhile. And if you're the kind of person that constantly gets farmed down on fires until you die, then damage control 2 is what you want. Comes down to your experience in the game, frankly.
The one problem I have with turning in the Iowa is it is a rather long ship with a rather slim hull, which makes the turning circle quite bad. So it doesn't really turn well even if you improve the rudder shift time. It's not a ship that wants to turn.
Yes, but at the same time, there are moments when that extra couple of seconds of rudder responsiveness means that you dodge another torpedo or you avoid a citadel or whatnot. So
Of course. I'm just saying that it doesn't make it into a good turner.
I agree. But
Especially if you compare it to the predecessor like the Norse Cal, which is much shorter and has much tighter turning.
True. But I mean, there are times where I'm happy that I took steering gears in my Moskva, which is the same issue you were just talking about, right?
Yep.
So it absolutely comes down to the player and how they use it. You've got spotting aircraft. What's up? No one runs faster. And is this a special captain or is this a standard?
No, it's a regular captain.
Good, it should be. It's a tier 9 tech tree. There's no reason to put Halsey or the Does or especially Oven Chicken on this. Let's look at your build. Because oh my god. Consumable preparation. Grease the gears. Focus fire training. Fire prevention. AA defense and ASW. Emergency repair. Rob, what are you trying to accomplish here?
I think I was trying out a new build.
Okay.
Trying to
But Rob, you're trying out a new build, but what is the goal of the new build?
Yeah.
I don't remember. It's been a while since I've set up this captain.
It looks to me like it's death to aircraft and death to subs. But I don't.
For tier 9, I wouldn't even waste my time because you're not doing enough damage to tier 10s, which is going to be the threat.
Yep.
And well, tier 8s, you're a tier 9.
Right. So, here, first of all, consumable preparation reload, consumable specialist. Rob, of your consumables up here, there's 3 of them. There's damage control party, there's the heal, and there's spotting aircraft. This consumables specialist only helps your spotting aircraft. It reduces the cooldown of your spotting aircraft by 7.5%. Absolutely not worth it, dude. Sorry, not worth it.
Agree, not in the slightest.
If it impacted these two as well, sure, I could see that. I could see that argument, but this is just no.
If it would impact the heal, this would be a no-brainer 1-point skill on every single ship that had a heal.
Exactly. And instead, if you want to impact the heal and the DCP, that's emergency repair specialist. So,
I think on that one I
Rob,
picked the wrong one.
yes, you either take emergency repair specialist if you want to boost the cooldown. This is only 3%, so it's not a ton. Alternately, there's a couple other choices. You could take preventative maintenance to keep your anti-air guns alive, keep your secondaries alive, predominantly, or you could take gun feeder so you can switch between AP and HE more rapidly.
So I don't really switch ammo types very often in Iowa.
Right, so
Well,
gun feeder doesn't matter for you.
More importantly, for this particular build, you need the preventative maintenance to keep what you've literally put 5 points into your secondaries and AA.
Yeah.
Right. So, I'm guessing you probably want to go with emergency repair. That's the safe option, right? Because that makes you tankier. All right, let's move on to AA defense and ASW expert. Okay. There's one thing that goes for you here. One thing, and that is, if your anti-air guns are shooting, then you get 40% quicker cooldown for your consumables. Okay, I get it. But it requires you to have your anti-air guns firing. It's not going to be a lot of times, frankly, in a game. You need a carrier. ASW could work or anything, but usually you need a carrier. And you need them to go after you. Now, at the beginning I said how American battleships like the Iowa have really good anti-air. Most carriers who know this, they're not going to come after you early on or throughout the game unless you're literally the only thing in town they can drop on. I don't think this is useful.
I don't mind this 2-point skill. Like, it wouldn't be my first choice, but I don't mind having it. Like, there's lots of planes in the game. Like, there's the ASW planes. Maybe you can shoot on some
Hybrids.
fighters. Like, Dutch cruisers are even a thing that got more
Yeah.
popular.
Yeah.
You have a decent chance, and also, like, you get a little bit extra damage against subs, even if it's not a lot. But I really don't mind the 2-point skill, especially if you have decent AA with decent range on the battleship. My problem is the 3-point skill.
Yeah. So
I don't have a problem with the 2-pointer until you don't, like, then you're going into the 3-pointer, right? The 2-pointer, I'm taking it for the sub damage. 10% is 10% on something that ain't got a lot of HP, and I want it dead as fast as possible.
right. Although personally, I would go priority target over this. I Greasy Gears is fine. Makes sense in a battleship. The rest of this, you could make the argument for Brisk or Vigilance as well, but I think priority target is much more impactful and useful than the 10% to subs and stuff like that, just because you're not guaranteed a sub in the game that you're playing. But I'll respect you guys what you're saying, sure. All right, so 3-point skill. Why should he not be taking this 3-point skill then? Focus fire training.
So I just think that it's too expensive for the battleship. Like, so the aircraft preparation time doesn't do anything.
Nope.
You get 1 extra flak. Most good CVs are gonna dodge the flak. It's probably not gonna matter.
6 is the magic number for flak, isn't it?
Kind of, yeah.
Right. Beyond that, it's
then-
not as important. As
The
important.
airstrike armament reload time doesn't do anything.
Nope.
So it just comes down to you have the priority sector reinforcement, and you have the damage cost and the priority activation. So if you activate the priority sector, you deal like 3.5% of the plane's current hit points as immediate damage.
Yep.
This
Instant.
puts it up to 5. It's a little bit of a damage bonus. It doesn't, like, really matter too much, to be honest. Like, it's not gonna kill a plane just because you activate your priority sector with that.
Right.
Right, so let's just sum up what Grunty's saying. AA doesn't do anything in this game. The first attack's getting through, and it's only going to stop this potential second attack. AA is just, it's not what it used to be in this game. You don't need back heavy into it.
The only thing, what I'm going after here is, like, the 25% priority sector reinforcement is the only thing that matters on this skill.
Right. And that's
what's
not
the
going to help you
battleship?
much.
What's the battleship base value? I don't even know. Is it like 40%?
It doesn't matter. I'm being honest here. It doesn't matter. I'm not trying to be a jerk by saying that. It's just, it doesn't matter. So
It doesn't matter because he's tier 9. If he's facing tier
Right.
8, he's a tier 9. If he's facing tier 10, well, you're a tier 9.
Right. So it really has no impact on the course of the battle unless he runs into a carrier player that frankly is learning the class and has no business playing in randoms at high tier or ranked for that matter. So this is a lot of points to spec into. Look, you're far better off going for Adrenaline Rush. This is the best skill point for point in this game. As you take damage, your reload is better. And this is for all types of armament, not just your main battery. So, like, this is where you should be starting.
It even improves the AA damage.
Right, this is where you should be starting. 100%. Like, screw this. Here, let me do this. To heck with this. Pick this. Now, your 4 pointers. Fire prevention and emergency repair. Okay. Okay, I'm surprised he didn't go concealment. But okay. Rob likes to turn a lot. He likes to shoot a lot. He likes to be spotted a lot. Concealment's not going to help him over others. So fine. I understand these two choices. These make sense. Okay?
Well, Rob, do you go through all 5 heals? Yes or no?
Depends on the match.
What I'm trying to say is how often are you going through all 5 of your heals?
80%, 50%, 20, 10.
I think a little more than 50, but it also depends on how often I survive long enough.
Yeah, that's the whole point, Rob. Like,
So this probably isn't helping you.
Quite honestly, at 50%, Rob, that's not helping you. Right? What's holding you back is your situational awareness. And that skill is only saving you half of the time. If it was 80%, then yes, it's well worth it.
Yep.
I mean, what's the alternative? Taking concealment first, right?
You're better off with concealment and playing the mid to long range, where concealment will help you a lot more because you can go dark when you need to.
Yeah, but Rob doesn't go dark. Rob likes to shoot. So I
Bingo.
don't think concealment does a lot of for him.
Bingo.
either.
What
This
he
is-
needs to do is learn not to shoot when he's in danger.
Fair enough. Look, Rob, these are fine. Whatever. Fine. Like, I understand your play style from playing with you enough. I would say these are fine for you. I think for most people, though, I would agree concealment is the better choice. What's your concealment right now? 14 kilometer. Add concealment expert, takes you down to 12 and change. This allows you to almost sneak up on a radar cruiser on their broadside and not be spotted. Which is actually pretty huge. If you understand how to use concealment. If you don't, it's a wasted skill.
Yeah. I think ideally, if your captain is high enough, you just want all 3. It just comes down in what
Of course.
order you take them.
Of course. All 3 is the way to go. So here, now he's at 20 points. 1 point left. You could do gun feeder to switch to APHE, or you could do preventative maintenance to keep your anti-air and secondaries alive, and there's your 21 point captain. Done. It's a big difference, absolutely, SAT. Because when you're closer to, you're hitting more hits as well. As SAT mentions, there's less time for your targets to dodge and all that good stuff too. All right, let's move on to your flags. You've got 1, the ramming flag, and that's it. You're trying to conserve flags?
Yeah, and I don't know. I think I forgot to check the flags before I went into this match.
Okay.
I hadn't played this ship in a while.
So why did you play it then?
I felt like it.
Okay. It's fine. The
I do
thing
like
is, if
this
you
ship. There's a reason I kept it when I got the Montana.
okay, so back up to that statement for a second. There's a couple reasons to keep a ship from when you get the next one previous. For one, it's a tier 9. If it's a tier 9, then you want to keep it if you can help it. If you got the port slot, because tier 9s are hella expensive to buy and to outfit with all your upgrades. So you shouldn't be selling any tier 9 in this game. Frankly, you should not be selling anything that is, say, tier 6 and above, in my personal opinion, unless you absolutely need the port slot. If you absolutely need the port slot, then start at 6. Because I myself, in playing this game 9 years, have made the mistake of having to buy a ship, I think 5 times. I think there's one ship that I bought like 5 times. That's a lot of credits that I've wasted on that ship.
I think for benefits you should keep 5 or up, just because for the snowflakes and everything, 5 start counting for coal. If you're really short on ports and stuff, keep 8 and higher, because that's where you get the steel.
True. True.
But I do also go through a lot of coal, so having ships that give it coal as well is a good idea.
What the hell are you spending coal on?
Ships mostly. For
That's
instance,
not
I'm
saying
getting close to
it's
getting the Napoli.
Like I said,
No, dude.
you start with your lowest tier and then work your way up. Now, you started by going straight on this game, and I like that you turned, because going straight was definitely not the good idea. Although I don't know that I like the camera angle that you're choosing here. You're just gonna sit on top of the turret and stare off into the space. Okay, here we go. I want to point something out. Rob took his time to aim here. Whether he hits or misses, I want to point that out, because my finger was on the N key to pause his replay the minute he scoped in, because I sincerely thought he was about to fire. And I was going to say, dude, why are you aiming there? A nice job there.
I think he should have waited even a little bit longer.
Problem is he aimed a little too high, I think.
Wrong. He got 1 citadel. So clearly you're all wrong. You all suck. I know what I'm doing. And this is a joke, by the way. RNG favored you. Dispersion favored you. And that's fine. Okay. Why are you looking dead center? He's going to turn left. Predict. Aim ahead of him. Farther ahead of him. Look. He's at Georgia. Georgia has engine boost, which looks like he's running based off of the darkness of his smoke and stuff. You need to be aiming ahead of him, and because you were looking at the center of the ship and all that, you weren't turning your ship out to get all of your turrets on target. So the first salvo, you only shot your first 2. This salvo, you're only going to shoot your first 2 again. You're basically negating 6 of your barrels of your shots here. That's probably gonna miss. Well, he turned in. That slows him down a bit. Okay.
Enemy cruiser sighted.
You should not be looking at him the whole time here. You're missing out a good opportunity to shoot something else right now.
So when and that would be the Sharn 43 or the Cleveland. When I fire my guns, I hit my right mouse button and I start looking around. Why are you looking at the North Carolina? Forget it. Georgia was a better target than North Carolina. Whoa, whoa, no, go back to the, oh no, go back to the Georgia. Look how much time you've wasted here. What are you, stop. Stop, it's time to stop. Rob, dude, You need to be aiming here. Look where my mouse cursor is. You need to be aiming like here.
You don't see your mouse cursor. You're not
You don't?
capturing it. Oh no, wait, now I do. Never mind,
Okay.
I'm blind.
It's okay. So you gave him the time necessary to turn and point towards you. Ironically, that forces him to take you to Kaze torpedoes, and then you're gonna kill him right here. And look, your barrels went erect.
Something shot right next to him.
In smoke. Gee,
In
what could that be?
Yeah, in smoke.
That would be Akazuki. What do you mean, Michelangelo? It would be black. But there's 6 shells.
Rob, why are you driving like this?
So that's gonna be black.
The ship is on fire.
Rob's biggest problem is he ended up nosing with the island in front. I don't think that's a problem necessarily, Dutch. I agree that's a concern, but well, Rob says he doesn't really slow down much and he turns a lot, and he's camping an island right now.
Yeah.
I think he watched SFNL's game and he wants to be cool and, like, you know, play next to
Why are you
islands.
using your camera like this? Why are you zoomed in on your turrets instead of just
It's how I
getting a
like to
bit?
play sometimes. It makes me feel like I'm actually on the ship.
It's an immersion thing.
Okay.
I completely understand. It's an immersion thing.
I mean, it looks cool, but you're really, really limiting your view.
I think the bigger problem is he's spending...
Considering that you're tunnel visioning a lot anyway, I don't think this is helping you.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem is he's spending too much time enjoying the view and not enough time actually... Like, you were scoping out targets earlier, which as a battleship you should be doing. But in theory, you should be doing that while you fire your guns. Right now, you were following the shells into the Cleveland to where you got one overpen on his butt. Wow, that was a good use of your time. What could you be doing with your time instead? Looking around. What else is there that's exposed that you can shoot with your guns? Who's your next target going to be? These are things that when I play the game, many of you guys see me doing just automatically. Like, you've got a North Carolina that is about to come up broadside to you, and instead, you're looking at a North Carolina, but you can't even shoot them with your guns because you're not willing to turn your ship to get your third gun off. There goes a Cleveland. Michelangelo's secondaries. Of all things. Okay, I like that you said forget the North Carolina. He's about to die. Way too... Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay.
All stations reporting the position of a strategic target.
Fire your guns and then tell people to shoot the target that you can't shoot or don't want to shoot. See how you're behind on that 43? And that was when you took a moment and said, I need to be farther forward. Yeah, choose a target, indeed. Now, if this is a regular Scharnhorst, Rob, this is probably an okay aim. This is a 43. The 43's got engine boost. You're behind. And now there's an island there, so...
Rob, playing a game like this, while you may be immersed, it literally kills your field of view.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got KP7. Thanks for the follow.
Yeah, it really does.
Good kill there.
The Scharnhorst popped his speed boost.
What's the difference? In that salvo, you got all 3 of your turrets off. That's the difference. You got all 3 turrets off. Oh, forget about the North Carolina. Look, the Atlantico's gonna kill the North Carolina. If the Atlantico can't kill the North Carolina, then that's a him problem. Okay, you got lucky. He backed up right as you had me looking at him. So there's 11k off of him.
I mean, I
should...
don't disagree with looking at the North Carolina, because what else is there to shoot?
Right.
But even if he went forward...
I mean, he almost beached because of this, right? Like, did you guys notice that he was sailing right at the island for a moment?
Concentrate fire
Right, I think that's just from his camera. Continuing to look at that NC going forward is a colossal waste of time.
Yes.
Because now your guns aren't ready for the
Ibuki.
cruiser that's spotted.
Yeah.
That, yeah, and, like for all intents and purposes, there could have been torpedoes coming from that destroyer towards you that you didn't see or so.
You could also be turning your ship more to get your turrets on target sooner. You didn't really do that, you just kept going straight. Nice
I think
kill.
the islands forced them to go straight.
Maybe. It's hard to tell with him standing on top of his turret like this. But yeah. Makes me want to do the Titanic.
Well, like, my attitude is if you want to play this, I want to be immersive, go play co-op.
It's okay. And there's
Feeling
plenty
your
of people.
Field of view, it hurts your game so much.
True. But I'm sure there's plenty of people, not just Rob, that play this way, right?
We're just gonna go with only Rob because
Only
nobody else will
Rob.
send anything.
Only Rob.
Nobody else will send anything in like this.
Okay. Slowing down?
Man, I'm so glad you took those steering gears. You've done a lot of turning.
Uh-huh. Ugh. Now, that particular salvo is something I want to mention too. You could have been turning earlier and aiming earlier to line up for that shot. But you didn't. But hey, you did what you did, so there you go. There are times where I just feel like I'm giving feedback, but it doesn't matter. And this is one of those games, Rob. I'd aim farther forward. Like right now, I'd be aiming farther forward. He's at full speed broadside to you. I would aim about here.
Here's my question. Why are you even aiming here, Rob? Rob? Rob?
You there,
I
dude?
don't know. I think I was just. I don't know.
Okay. The reason I'm saying is because your shells aren't going to hit here. We've seen this several times where you aim like this. By the time those shells hit, 7 seconds later, you're going to be hitting him in the rear. That's why I said you want to be aiming here.
Are you using a static or dynamic crosshair, Rob?
I don't remember.
What do you mean you don't remember? Like you play.
I mean, I don't remember. And I haven't looked at which one I've been using for a while.
So you're probably using a static, which means it's set up for 25 knot battleships.
Nope, 20.
Is it
20.
20?
Static is 20. Mm-hmm.
Which is even worse.
Mm-hmm.
My advice to you is if you're going to play a lot in high tiers, get dynamic because it's set up for 30. Which literally all the battleships are doing about 30, right? I know they're like more or less over or under, but for the most part doing 30 to where when you look at the seconds, you're not doing more math. You're just going, oh, 7 seconds. So I just look where the 7 is. Boom. This is where I want my shells to go.
Right.
And aim.
Right now, you're at 7 seconds. 7 seconds is about the middle of the ship. But because it's moving at 30 knots, not 20, it's going to hit more
10.
here. Yep.
It's 50% faster, so you gotta bleed like 50% more. So
Yep. Yep. All right, let's continue.
I wouldn't even be looking at that ship, quite frankly. You have the cruisers right in front of you.
Oh, look, your shells went exactly where I said they would. Bigger minimap doesn't matter.
The minimap is
Minimap is
Set
considered
size.
cheating, so you're not allowed to use it.
And by the way, this is my size. We don't know what minimap size Rob uses. Hopefully Rob doesn't use that. Oh, you pointed down for some odd reason, Rob? Okay, whatever.
Like, isn't this the same lead that you just hit in the back and you just...
Yes, and now he just got a Citadel
You're
off
lucky
of
that he
it.
slowed down.
So, here's the problem, right? Is that teaches you those kinds of bad habits, right? All right, so you're gonna tag out with the FDG, who's currently under fire from Turpit's secondaries, and you're gonna tag yourself in and face the Indract and the Turpits here. I mean, it's the end of the game. You're quite ahead on score and ships. I don't know that you want to do this necessarily.
Turn your gun, starts the Turpits.
Now you're turning your ship in towards the Turpits, which means your rear turret is going to have to turn all the way around. The Indirect uses ASW on you, and because he's pointed at you and you're pointed at him, he's got a really good chance of hitting bombs. Okay, here's a couple.
Yeah, I wouldn't have turned this way. Like, why do you want to be right in the middle of those two ships?
What you could have done is turned out into a kite away position. That way you
Yeah,
control your engagement more.
You want to be in a position where your turrets could shoot both of them without turning too much.
Well,
Pop
I mean,
quiz.
more importantly, like I said, you should have turned your turrets towards the Turpits.
I don't.
Pop quiz,
think
by
you
the way.
shoulda.
Where do you aim on the Turpits? I paused it here for a second. This is really huge. Because the Turpits has that 50mm armor plating. If you aim at waterline, which a lot of battleship players will do, they will just bounce. You need to aim at the superstructure at this point.
Where he's aiming,
Yeah.
because the Turpits is coming towards you, so by the time Rob shoots, it's definitely not going to hit the bow.
It's up above
It's
it.
either going to disable turret number 2 or go right into the superstructure.
Yes.
I would just aim for the superstructure here.
I usually aim for turret 1 because it will land at the superstructure. He's coming towards you. Like, you have
Look
to
at that.
remember that.
Look at that. 10K. Nice hit.
Yeah.
Here's where you probably wish that you hadn't started turning your rear turret so much, because now your rear turret has to go all the way back into arc. And you just took a big hit there, and now you can finally fire at the Turpits. Zoom out and look at somebody else. Hey, cool, you got your Kraken. Turpit's probably fired his torpedoes at you, though. You do realize that, right? Oh, look, torpedoes. Oh my god, he fired his torpedoes at you. Now you zoom out.
The ship is on fire.
I bet you wish you could DCP here.
Oh my god. When a ship is firing torpedoes, you're 90% more lucky to turn in towards them to mitigate it, or just pray they're an idiot and do what the Turpits did and just whiff.
The
could also
outturn
slow
was fine
down.
here, so he gets his guns on the Endracht and gets that kill too. If he turns into the Turpits, he's not gonna kill the Endracht.
Yep. Now, Rob said there was a death pick. I have a feeling you might be seeing it soon. Yeah. Yep, this is it.
Gonna flood out or the burnout.
So, I do like that you evacuated the captain. Very important. You never know when you need to get that extra spotting. So let's go ahead.
But yeah, you could have prevented that death if you don't go in between the Turpits and the Endracht and instead have them both on the same side, because the Turpits would have never had a chance to fire these torpedoes at you.
Yeah. The correct maneuver would have been to turn out, dude. Turn out and whatever.
You realistically have two options.
Yeah.
Turn out, get distance, or turn in so he doesn't have to torp angles. Just completely turn in.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Those are your two options. Option A, turn out and distance, is usually going to be your better choice.
Right.
But you can always turn in and kill his torp angles.
Right. All right. Well, I got the death pick. Good enough. Yes, Rob, it's a death pick. Did you have any questions, Rob? Is there anything else that we can...
No, I mean,
The heck?
like, I mean, this was still a pretty good match considering I hadn't played in a while. So,
Okay.
Yeah, but you
Rob?
left a lot on the table.
But
Like,
hold on. Just because it's a good match,
I didn't say wasn't something I did wrong. I'm just saying it's
you
still a good
got
match.
rewarded by the enemy doing really, really dumb things,
Of course.
right? And it's gonna happen. The problem is we're trying to point out all the bad habits, and games like this teach people.
Absolutely they do. Absolutely they do.
Right, so just going, oh, I had a good match. You know, it's
Yep.
kind of like, we're here to help. Just because you guys have a good match doesn't mean we're not gonna like tear to shreds. Like, whenever
Right.
I send at the replay, like even the one we'll see on Sunday, I'm expecting it to get torn to shreds. Right, like the Alabama. Oh, was a good game. And what was I complaining about? I can't believe I screwed up a drive-by. Like, that was my biggest complaint. I screwed up a drive-by.
Evil Tree sucks. There's no right or wrong answer to static or dynamic crosshair. But if you're using static and you're finding yourself constantly not giving enough lead, it's worth a shot switching to dynamic.
Yeah. I will say I learned on static. I really struggle I tried for a while to do dynamic and I really struggled with it.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to use
problem-
dynamic, but I think I got switched off because I had to reinstall the game.
The problem is everybody learned on static. And I really
Right.
wish the game would force you to pick one. But like I'm saying, if you're spending most of your time mid-tier, static is your go-to because there's so
It's
much
fine.
less math to do.
Yep, it's
You
fine.
just look at the seconds and you look at the tick. But if you're spending your time at high tiers, it is worth struggling for the week. It's going to take you to learn dynamic because it's less math you have to realize.
Right. Ken, I want to address your comment. It's not intended. You know that. That's correct. We do sound condescending. And frankly, I think that's part because we play a lot with Rob. We know Rob a lot. And we know that he's not, for one, offended by the comments that we're giving, two, hurt by the comments that we're giving, and three, frankly, I don't know about you guys, Grunty or Puddin', but as I watch Rob and I see through his eyes how he's playing, I'm thinking back through all of the games where he's joined in Grind Assist, and I'm thinking to myself, what's he doing? You know what I
We
mean?
understand why Rob suddenly is in a position and how he got in there.
It is absolutely mind altering, which is fine. I mean, that helps us understand. But at the same time, it's just, wow.
It's
You know?
also an issue with Rob. Like, we see him making the same mistakes or
No,
stuff.
I disagree
all the
with you
time.
there. I disagree with you there. He's improved since he started playing with us. Since he started sending in replays, he's improved quite a bit. The difference
I'm not
is,
saying that he didn't improve. It is still of the lot of the stuff, like the tunnel visioning, for example.
sure, but the difference is that the Rob from a couple years ago to where we started the meme of, oh my god, they killed Rob. That Rob from a couple years ago is very different from where he is now. One of the key differences is he actually upgrades his ships now and puts stuff into modules. And the other is that he can actually hit his shots. I mean, take a look. 6 kills and 5 citadels on 150k damage. He can hit his shots. It's just, there are so many little things in between now. It's no longer about aim. It's no longer about necessarily target choice. It's more about what's he doing between shots. What's he doing that's wasting his efficiency? And so we're talking about moving a player from the beginner skill level to the intermediate skill level. now to the advanced skill level. And Rob is at that point, I'd say, where he's more into the intermediate. We're trying to help him move to the advanced. And everybody's different. Everybody's in a different spot. So it's a good game, dude. And you came in first. Surprise, surprise.
Could have been more first.
Could have been more first. Things worked out really well in your favor, Rob. But still, it was a good game. But I think this is an example of how we can take a good game that somebody has, and we can talk through it, and we're not trying to tear it apart and say that this person is trash, but we're trying to give them feedback for things to think about. Go ahead, Rob.
But the way you played it there, like, I don't think you get a lot out of your rudder shift. If this is how you typically play it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also usually out in the open. I just happen to find an island at like beginning.
Okay. And you found one. And that's fine. I mean, you've probably taken enough hits early on to realize how important it is to use those island shields. Nothing wrong with that. Let's take a look at replay render. And Ken, it's great that you're trying to glean things from this, but this is one of the reasons why the replay theater is difficult, because we can't give you feedback that helps your game without looking at your actual replay. We can look at Rob's, and you can use that to get some feedback on what to do, what not to do, but Rob probably plays differently than you do. That's the hardest part with doing replays. It really is. It's the hardest part.
Rob also needs a little bit more hammering of the same message to sink in.
Okay, this is true. Again, that's
Right.
knowing your student, knowing your audience.
Yeah, that's knowing Rob, right?
Yep.
Like, ironically, his AA skills came zero,
Zero?
into this game.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
there was no
At the
carry
end there,
one.
like one of them popped because of those bombs.
Because of the Dutch airstrike. That's correct. And Duckman even says that the steering gears wasn't very helpful either. True.
That's the thing with the AA skills in general. Like, if you end up in a game without a carrier, they're kind of wasted.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So it's
Nothing you
good.
can do about it.
It's good if you've got a div mate or buddy that you always play carrier with, but if that's the case, unless that person likes to play tier 8 carrier while you play your tier 9 battleship, there's no point in specking, right? North Carolina, sure, you've got equal tier with the carrier. You spec for anti-air because you've got a carrier friend that will play tier 8s. Or tier 10, Montana. You play with a Montana buddy that always plays carriers, but tier 9 is I don't think it's necessary.
You could be optimistic about it, and you just, or opportunistic rather, and you say it worked. You didn't get striked. If that
Okay.
is your goal by taking a skill, it worked. You avoided the carrier.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I agree with Sassia. Like, the AA skills on the odd tier ships is less valuable than it is on even tier ships, just because there's no odd tier CV.
Okay.
Rob, do you have the Montana?
I do. For a while, I had my record damage, but it
Like,
doesn't.
right here, what you
no
do,
longer
Rob,
does.
pause for, like, you
I
tagged
did.
it out with the Friedrich, and you just turn around right now and go
Yes.
in a kiting position to kite away from the Tirpitz and the Endra. This way you have both of the ships on the same side of your guns,
Yep.
and you could easily switch between them. Plus, that Tirpitz will never get in range to actually torp you.
Yep. So how do you deal with the Tirpitz? You just head towards J1 right here, frankly. J1, keep your guns on the Indroct, kill the Indroct. You don't care about the Tirpitz. For one, you outrun him. He's 30 knots top speed, you're 33, right? Two, as Grunty said, you can't get within his torpedo range, which is a big threat. Three, if he fires his main guns at you and full pens you through their stern, you're a big boy, you can handle that. Kill the
Full
Indroct.
HP.
Right, exactly. Kill the Indroct. after you kill the indirect, then you can worry about the turpits. I feel like this is where you really should have been looking at one first over the other and target prioritizing. But instead, you just kept going straight.
Alternatively, if you do that turn and the turret does something weird and shows you the broadside, you can switch to it easily because your guns don't have to turn all the way around.
Right.
But
Instead,
yeah, like,
you're looking at him, you're going straight at him. Come on, you know he torpedoed you, you're within 6 kilometers. Look, there's the torps. Damage control system 2 would have helped. Absolutely. Less fire and flood reduction. Probably would have saved him. But it did not, and he died. The game was a win anyways, so that worked out for him.
I think a lot of what happened at the end was, oh hey, that's a low health turpits, and I could get a Kraken.
Yes, and I think Grunty said something like, yo, he's hunting his Kraken. Yes.
Yeah, I think Duckman said something about Kraken.
I don't think I did, but
Okay. Either way.
I don't know. I don't
So
remember.
Duckman, yeah.
Someone
Duckman said
picked
he
up
wants
on
the
that.
Kraken.
Yeah. Someone picked up on that. And I mean, here's the thing too. These days that doesn't matter. It really doesn't.
Honest, like these enemy ships were so low, you probably kill them both, you probably get the Kraken.
Yeah.
And your team was winning so hard.
Mm-hmm.
But you might make this play in a little bit of a different situation where the game is a little bit closer. And then if it doesn't work out, you go from winning the game to losing it just because you were greedy for the Kraken.
Right. It wasn't, you weren't going to lose the game because of it at this point. But
No,
we're
you
trying
were
to
not.
give
Not in
you,
this game.
we're trying to help you think about future, engagements when you run into that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Ironically, the best Krakens are the ones you're not even aware of.
Oh God,
I
yes.
wasn't aware he wasn't the Kraken until he got it, to be quite frank.
But I mean, those are typically the best one because you're
Yep.
not playing to get that Kraken. You're playing to try to win the game.
Right. No, you're absolutely correct. When you try to win and when you try to get that Kraken, you can't get it. So just play to have fun. All right. Anything else, Rob? Do you have any questions? Anything at all? Or are we good?
No.
I need a title for this replay.
Rob Advanced.
You don't think you've ever gotten a real Kraken? Ah, you'll get one. Rob Advanced.
I mean, sadly, anything I
Ah.
can think of is going to be negative, like wasted skills and modules. Like,
How about Rob Unleashed?
That works.
let's just go with that.
Rob, what do you
Document,
think?
If it's stupid and works, it's still stupid. You just got lucky.
But it works.
I like Rob Unleashed.
All right, then. We'll use Rob Unleashed. All right, here's the deal, guys.
You need to go.
I need to go. Absolutely. I'm gonna create a poll. It's gonna be a 10-minute poll. There's 2 replays. Honestly, if I get enough votes for both, I'll put both on YouTube. But you guys can tell me which replay or replays should go onto YouTube page. Okay? Oh, hold on.